Hey, we're fired up. My new thing I think I'm going to try out is I'm here, the show can begin. What do you guys think about that? It works better in chats, like when I come in late.
I think Big Will might hit you with copyright infringement.
Yeah, it's a I think it's different enough.
Since I have arrived.
Yeah. Maybe just the show can begin. Anyway, hey everyone, welcome to Story Comic Core. My name's Alec. I'm from White Whale Comics. We have to my left Jason from Comics Misexplained. What's up, man?
What's up, homies?
Wearing a Tom King shirt. Whew.
Yep.
Who knew?
Brave thing these days.
To his
Back when
left,
he was good.
Back when he was good, like not
The
that
old
long
days.
ago. Yeah.
The
like
good old days.
Earlier this year.
That's right.
To his left is Comic Head 84, aka Macho Head 84, aka Kenny. What's up, man?
Yo, what's happening?
Oh yeah.
Good to be here. Good to be here. Yeah.
And we know what he's doing. It's Caleb the Comic Smurph. What's up, man?
Yo, kicking it like a fat rat at Cheese Factory, bro. Y'all already know, man.
Yeah.
How you doing tonight, natural?
Oh, I'm okay. I'm waiting for the day where you're like, oh, I'm kicking it like a raccoon in a trash dump. They'd be just as happy.
Yeah, kicking in a fat rat in a mouse trap. He's just bummed. He's just.
I'll have to think of one. Most of them I've heard somewhere before, like grinning like a possum eating shit. That's a decent one.
Yeah.
We got some wonderful people in the chat already. Sammy Strikes Back, lovely as always. 90 MF Comics. YouTube is 90. What's up, man? Ex Story Comic Core member. Comic Man Andy bringing the popcorn. Sammy says she bets $20 she'll fall asleep because my voice is too soothing.
It is very soothing.
Why, thank you.
That's a great compliment for a show.
Yeah. That she's going to fall asleep during it?
Yeah.
TJ, the Slab Dragon Watson is here. Perry Comics is here. Chris Barrett, always here. Always appreciated. What's up, everyone? Thanks for hanging out. We got some stuff to talk about. In fact, let me do this so you guys can see my terrible face. We got this big old kid to talk about.
I read this thing in one sitting today.
Yeah, me too, pretty much. It is the final volume of Y the Last Man, and we're gonna get into this.
Yeah.
You know, I think at
Cliff note, Dr. Man's dad's a dick. You get to see 355 boobs.
Yeah, you get to see like
and then the last part is straight up. I'm not telling.
Everyone's boobs in this. There's a lot of boobs, a lot of wieners.
Yeah, I'm pretty like cold-hearted when it comes to just reading comics in general, or just in life, you know. But like this pulled my heartstrings like towards the end. Like I got actually like teary-eyed.
I was telling these guys before you jumped in, like I straight up cried. And so yeah. I may again during the recap.
I started like exasperating and got teary-eyed. My wife was probably wondering what was wrong with me.
Like, this is a comic book. Get over it.
Yeah.
So we start off with yet another dream sequence from York with the great line. Chris Barrett says, "Show the boobs, censor the wieners." Maybe I'll do it the other way around, Chris Barrett.
Yeah, that's right.
He says, "I'm coming for you, Beth, and I'm coming hard," which I thought was a great line to start an issue.
Where are you, dollface?
And it's kind of like this old gangstery thing, and she's tied up, and it's the same thing we've kind of seen in repetition.
I like the black and white to psychedelic.
Yeah,
cool
where
transition.
She's kind of like telling him to stay away. And then, surprise, surprise, it's a dream, no surprise. But there's an ampersand. Rose is back up and walking around after apparently weeks, according to York.
She got stabbed by a samurai chick.
Yeah. She also has the line, "You ever seen anything this hideous?" referring to her scar, and York says, "Over the last 4 years, many, many times," which I thought, nice little touch. They have a talk about like what's been going on, kind of like a little recap, and about what's going to happen, where he's kind of like leaving with 355 to find Beth 1, and Dr. Mann and Rose are going to stay behind in China to continue their research.
And you can. This is kind of like in wrestling terms, they make the eye patch chick turn babyface.
Yeah.
At this point, because she's kind of like a heel, you know, for a little while. You think she's manipulating our homie Dr. Mann and everything, but yeah, this is her babyface turn.
She maybe it's because just Dr. Mann is that good.
Skills.
Yeah. To pay the bills and convert spies. Speaking of Dr. Mann, there she is, talking to 355 on the streets of China. They're blah blahing, and then Dr. Mann says, "Oh, by the way, Rose is a spy. I meant to tell you." 355 goes charging back to save Yorick, and then Dr. Mann kind of has this little episode of, she says, "No, not yet," like she's clutching her stomach.
And then you got a crazy Amazon.
Yeah, we get Amazons fighting the Israelis. Then we get 355 busting back in. Oh, and by the way, there's this conversation that Rose and Yorick have about Ampersand and Bonnie. They want them to mate, but they won't do it. But guess what?
He gets him some booty. Ampersand gets some booty.
He straight gets it.
The monkey whisperer.
So 355 bucks in, ready.
Knows how to turn a monkey on. Well, eye patch knows how to get them riled up now.
Yeah. I wonder, you know, like panda fluffers is like a real thing.
Yeah.
Panda fluffers?
Yeah.
There's all kinds of fluffers.
Because pandas like won't have sex, so they have people who like, I don't think they like fluff like the way they do in porn, but like they do things to get the pandas to like bang.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Are we talking around people that jerk off panda bears?
He's talking about I got issues. I got issues, yeah.
I know that was coming.
No. Not actually physically jerking off panda bears. I don't know. They they get like eucalyptus scented candles and like play Barry White. I don't know what they do. I'm not a panda fluffer, man.
GPAP says GPAP in the chat says it's a living.
It sure is.
Hey, there's worse ways to make a living, brother.
Can't all be glamorous.
That's right.
Woo. Man, oh man.
So anyway, 355 busts in expecting to see terrible things, but instead Rose is like hugging her and saying how thankful she is for her, and then we get this really touching kind of scene where well, maybe not touching quite yet, but Dr. Mann talks about how she's going to clone a bunch of Yoricks, and this is kind of like, I feel like Brian K. Vaughan in this trade really does this a number of times, but for me, every time it was funny. Yorick says, "So in the future, mankind is going to be made up entirely of me's. It's an abomination of science, of grammar."
Yep.
Very funny to me.
They do knock on Yorick's grammar a couple times in this.
Yeah, like he makes jokes like that, which I don't know. They land for me. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I breezed through a bunch of this stuff right
So then Rose calls her admiral and says that she's kind of going AWOL because she is in love with Dr. Mann, who comes in and she's like, I suppose you were just pretending to be gay. And Rose says, "Do I make love like a straight girl? How many times did I go down on you our first night together?" And Dr. Mann gives a zinger. "Yeah, well, you know what they say about Chinese food."
Hi-yo.
Hey now. And then she starts doing some hand stuff, and Dr. Mann then starts dying.
Literally.
Sammy says there's too much lag. He's completely freezing up. That's too bad. Does anyone else have that problem? Sammy. TJ says panda fluffer is his dream job. And then 355, still not trusting of Rose, busts in and says, "What have you done?" Assuming that Rose did whatever it is to Dr. Mann. And then we get this another ampersand cover, technically.
Some great facial expressions on that ending page, man. That's some great piece. face for her.
Yeah, Pia Guerra does a great job of that, of really like
absolutely
selling emotion in faces. Then we get a flashback to Dr. Mann's childhood with her father giving her a bunch of shots and talking about sweet potatoes and monkeys and I don't know, who cares?
Cloning and crap.
Yeah,
it all ties in together at the end.
Yeah, it does, but like it. So now we're back to the real plot. So, Dr. Mann's not yet dead. Rose is trying to explain herself, and then Dr. Mann says just enough to say like, "My mom's in Hong Kong with Dr. Ming," and she's saying like, "Bring me there."
You can see the worry on Ampersand's face.
Yeah, he says, "Oh," and Yorick says, "I guess so, buddy." Then we get this really weird scene between Alter and another soldier where the soldier is saying like, hey, that photo of this scene where they were trying to save the last man or whatever from that other weird issue, like that it's been doctored, and we get this extended choking scene.
That is true. It does go on for a few panels.
A lot of choking.
Not the good kind. So then she kind of just like dismisses her and says, go back to your quarters. And then we get this very telling scene.
Yeah, that one's cool.
Of Alter thinking about killing herself because she's feeling guilty about killing Sadie. They're rushing in an ambulance to bring Dr. Mann to Dr. Ming and her mom, and as soon as Yorick gets out of the truck, he gets darted and pranked. And then pow pow, 2 more. Pow pow, everyone's tranked. Zap zap.
And then Ninja Chick.
Toyota.
A
little racist.
No, that was like the sound of the sword.
Oh, okay.
It didn't sound very good, but hey, I tried. I get an E for effort.
Dr. Mann wakes up to the sight of her mother, and we find Yorick tied to the bed next to her. They blah blah about like who Toyota's working for, and then wow, look at that! Oh, it's Dr. Mann's dad.
Yeah.
He's still alive.
I knew it, man. Did you guys have a feeling it was going to be him? I just knew it, like earlier on.
What? That's right. There's another swinging dick in this world.
And look at all the mini-mans.
Yeah. And then guess what? Oh, he's made like a bunch of clones of Dr. Mann.
That's what I'm saying. Mini-mans.
And he says, from early on, I knew I'd failed you as a father. I failed you as a man, but I never stopped trying. That's the big reveal. End of that issue. And we get this rad cover.
Look at the intensity there.
We see the origin of Toyota, which I thought was very bizarre, where she just like broke into his lab and he's like, hey, you want to be a ninja for me?
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. I've got money. I need a lackey.
She's like a random punk girl, like a crust punk or something.
She didn't like display like any sort of great fighting skill, or I don't know. I thought it was a little weird, but
yeah, it's and that's kind of like the origin of Jason
Alter
as the second Robin, when he's like, hey, you stop trying to steal the rims off my Batmobile. All right, just be Robin then.
Yeah.
Like,
we're back in present day. Toyota's got Rose and 355 tied up. She's gonna kill them both. I don't know why she just doesn't. And then
creepy clone
babies. Dr. Mann's dad talking about stuff. I don't know if it's yet. Anyway, he basically says, hey, this was all my fault. When I created a clone, like this was ground zero for the disease. Like you can see where it spread from, even though it spread so fast. And like when I created the first you,
he did some sort of algorithm that tracked the progression.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like skipping ahead a little bit, but that's the gist of his explanation. And he says that he also intentionally he sent Ampersand to try to poison Dr. Man's fetus, basically, right?
But the U.S. Postal Service is the reason that York's alive, because they suck at their job sometimes.
Some transit service, we don't know. Lost Ampersand. He ended up with York, but he had Toyota just like go and poison her food instead. Like I don't know why he couldn't just do that. Luckily, Yorick taught 355 how to pick handcuffs, and so she gets out and pushes Toyota through a window.
Bam.
Then dad stuff. Toyota calls 355's mom a big fat whore for some reason. Don't really get it. Fighting, talking. Tell me if I'm going too fast. Was there anything you guys want to touch on?
No, you're good. 'Cause, I mean, it's a good fight scene, but it's like
it's a whatever. Here you go. Here's some fighting. Ow.
Exactly.
She breaks the stick and stabs her in the ear. That's the important part.
Yeah, that's the important part, which is coming up right here.
Yeah, at first I was like, okay, well, how'd she get that spike in her ear? Because that's like she was really far away, and then it's revealed she got poked with the stick as well to do it.
She gets straight stabbed.
Yeah.
So
big bummer.
Not the best time. So
and you got a booty cover.
We do have a booty cover, but before that, Dr. Man's dad is saying that he's going to kill himself and Yorick because he doesn't think that there should be any men left.
Something about a pair of blue.
Yeah, and I hated that. I started like doing a little eye rolling during his monologue.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is like Brian K. Vaughan, if we're hearing what's supposed to be the point of the book or not, or some subtext anyway of like how shitty men are, and men are just a necessary evil, and they're obsolete. They serve no good for mankind other than reproducing. So I bypassed it. They suck. Men suck. I'm gonna kill myself.
We're just dicks and nothing else. Kind of true.
No bueno. I don't like that.
Then the next issue, Brian K. Vaughan has this tendency to do this thing is create cliffhangers and then say like, "Oh, you want to know what happens? No, you're gonna have to talk about like Hero and Beth too for a while."
Yeah, Hero's still on my shit list.
Even at the end.
Yeah, dude. She's even worse at the end. She steals his girl.
Well, spoilers. So this,
dude, I totally saw that coming too, man.
Thing where he's about to inject him with a lethal injection, but he's like, "I'm still gonna use a little alcohol wipe on you."
Yeah.
I don't want you to get infected.
Dude, I guess habits are hard to break, you know.
But like, I think they do that for like real lethal injections too. Maybe it makes the needle go on better. I don't know. What am I, a doctor? And then Dr. Man, scalpel time. Oh, by the way, they removed her uterus.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a cool scene when they're looking down through the window, the broken window.
Yeah. And then
really well done panel.
They see, Bow, death.
It ain't a death.
Or are they? Dr. Man's dad straight like punches her in the uterus.
Yeah, brutal.
The former uterus. Pretty rude, man. But then she also stabs him with the lethal injection.
In front of the clone babies.
Gone too soon.
No, they killed him right on time.
Gone too late.
And then, guess what? It's Ampersand time.
That's right.
Best
start
character
the
in
show.
the whole book.
355 is just like recovering on a couch in some like sketchy apartment with a monkey on her. It doesn't seem very sanitary, but whatever.
It's all the touchy-feely parts.
Yeah. She says, guess what, 355? You also got stabbed through the uterus, so no babies for you. And she's like, oh, thank Christ. I thought you were going to say I was paralyzed or something. I don't care about having babies. Screw that. Yeah. She's like, oh, unless you wanted me to be expecting me to carry one of your clone boys. And she's like, no, Rose is going to do that because she trusts me. Like, okay, weird. And then they say I love you in their little gibberish speak, which I thought was very cute. Nothing about this book is sanitary, says Chris Barrett.
Wipe the monkey down. Easy fix.
I like how Eye Patch is talking to Yorick, and she tells him his son's going to be a naive, self-righteous douche.
Yeah. Not wrong. Until he's like 45.
Yeah.
And then we have a very, I think, like weird goodbye scene between Dr. Mann and York, where like she starts crying. He's like, "I've never seen you smile once," and then she starts crying, and she's like, "The time I've spent with you and your stupid monkey have been among the most unhappiest of my life. I have no idea why I'm going to miss you so much." It's like, yeah, I guess that's kind of Dr. Mannish, but at the same time, like, I feel like there have been enough moments with them together that they are closer to that.
Yeah. They've had their heartfelt moments before, you know.
And then she says, "Listen to me, you have a big heart." And he's like, "Oh, I didn't expect you to leave me with a compliment." She says, "Enlarged hearts are weak and fragile, York." It wasn't a compliment.
No, literally, your heart is enlarged.
I've examined you. You have an enlarged heart. I thought that was very funny.
Classic Dr. Mann.
And then we get this very rainy scene at the Eiffel Tower with Beth
number one.
Beth number one looking for York with a photograph. Like,
and then the trash lady, dude.
Like,
I'm so glad they brought the trash lady back.
Dude, what a dope.
She needs a photograph though to finish up real quick. Like, she needs a photograph because, like, if you saw a dude, it's like, hey, have you seen a dude?
A guy,
right?
Yeah. What does he look like?
A dude.
He's a dude. He's like got a dick and like a beard
and facial hair.
Yeah,
like
he's the only one
double
left alive.
Chance.
Have you seen him? You have a picture? No.
Nope. Sorry, I can't help you.
Yeah. Anyway, this cover is the hotness.
Yeah, did not expect to see her again. I thought that was really cool.
Super
yeah,
awesome.
Definitely cool. But again, like, weird moment to inject this totally. Like, it's a really good issue, and she is. I mean, she's a supermodel, but they draw her super hot.
Well, she cleans up bodies for the White House, so they brought her back to get rid of the body of the mom.
Right. So it it's not like totally out of context, but like they could have done this a lot earlier. It's
showing
like
you that she's a good guy, though.
It's a total aside.
Yeah.
Look at that booty. That's gratuitous. Great Legend just joined us. What's up, everyone? We also got GPAP. We got who else joined us? I know other people were here a minute ago.
Oh, you do see a bunch of boobs in here.
Yeah, tons of boobs. Mastodon Comics and Collecting. I think Justin Reekin was here a little while ago. I don't know if he's still here. What's up, guys? So yeah, they call her in to clean up the body, and she sees York's picture, and she's like, "Who is this kid? Is this what this is about?" And then, yeah, there's a little boob action. She's having sex with the lady who's, you know, one of those working girl guys who's got a fake OT.
She rips it off a little bit later.
Yeah, I also think it's kind of weird where she's like, "Hey, we've been able to manufacture maxi pads, but no one can make me a Virginia Slim," which I thought was kind of weird. Then they have this touching goodbye to Mrs. Brown, York's mom. They see rats, which have been dead for a long time, and they say, like, "Oh, if you just act like things are going to be better, things will be better." Not buying that. Then they go to a stadium, and the line that paid off the entire issue for me, they show you the stadium filled with corpses, and the garbage truck chick says, "We can be more than just bodies." Good job, Brian K. Vaughan.
Yeah, it was cool.
That was a good payoff.
Is this the worst cover of the whole series?
Yeah.
It is my least favorite, but it does have ampersand on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of weird and weird.
Kind of
it's pretty bad.
Ampersand looked like a baboon instead of a capuchin.
Yeah. It's also like
Stegmanish, like the Fear and Loathing guy.
Yeah. It's kind of also like a weird issue. It starts with these people.
Yeah,
it starts with these people like shooting a film, and then these kids steal a car.
Oh yeah, I hated this issue.
Yeah, and then they like make a comic book instead.
The same drama troupe from before. They're back.
Yeah, it's a movie set.
That Yorick is reading on the train. I don't know. Low point.
Okay.
And then I mean, it was cool seeing like the girl that attacked New Beth and her like she had an acting gig.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird seeing these reoccurring characters again. You know.
I don't know if I'm skipping ahead here, but the
Frozen
isn't the anatomy? Look how crazy the anatomy looks in this slot. Don't they look like Big Head?
Yeah.
Unlock Big Head mode in NBA Jam. Like, what is happening there?
And 355 asks how the comic book is, and he says, well, he says, this isn't a capes and tights book. It's this quasi-feminist sci-fi thing, very postmodern. And then she says, if you were an English major, why can't you speak English? Is it any good or not? And he says, meh. Very self-referential, very funny. I feel like Brian K. Vaughan had this idea, and he's like, this is too clever not to put in somewhere. Not worth it.
No, especially putting it at the end of the worst issue.
Yeah. But follows up with an awesome cover, I think.
Oh yeah.
Great cover.
Great cover. And with starting off with the frozen body of Lenin, which can't beat that. They get ambushed by some guards. They find his lighter, and he's like, no, it's from a comic book. And they're like, not buying it.
Yeah, that's
Yorick actually punches someone for once.
Yeah.
And then they blow up the connection of the car that they're in to stop and get away from the rest of the train. Really weird. Then we're in Paris with Beth and Russian chick, I don't remember her name, and
York's baby.
Hero and Beth 3.
Scarface.
By the way,
Scarface is my favorite.
Beth 2.
And then you get 355 boobies.
Beth 2, total babe. Yeah, 355 boobies on the next page.
Oh yeah, that's right. Forget.
Yeah, sure. But it's just a dream. Used to read Word Up magazine. Yorick is dreaming about having sex with 355, and then maybe the best splash page of this series. One of the best zombie drawings I've ever seen. That is so gnarly.
Yeah, for me, for the digital, it wasn't on the next page. It's a whole new screen. So it took me totally aback by surprise. I was like, "That's awesome."
Yeah,
I did not expect
to
go
dude,
that
you
to
swipe
there.
It and it's like, bam.
Yep.
You go from sexy 355 to gnarly.
Yeah, totally awesome. Did not expect that,
dude.
Had the impact it was supposed to.
It is brutal.
And then Yorick wakes up once again. Another dream where he's not supposed to find Beth, and another self-referential thing where 355 is like, I'm sick of hearing about your dreams. And then he's like, can I ask you a question? Am I going bald? And she's like, yeah, you're kind of thinning. And then he's like concerned about whether or not Beth is still going to be attracted to him. And then they brawl and kind of end up on top of each other.
Little play fight.
Little play boner. And then we get some stuff with Alter, who cares, where she says she found the picture. Very conveniently, Beth forgot the picture in a cafe of her and Yorick, and they're like, look, we found this girl who's looking for Yorick. I don't know. Didn't do it for me.
Yeah, I feel like Alter and Toyota's origin stories came way too late. If they would have happened earlier on, I would have probably been more invested in them or what they do or what they care about.
And to Caleb's point, I don't remember if he said this on air or not, but the second half of this trade are probably the best issues of the whole series for me. But the first half is a lot of blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Okay. This issue starts with Yorick getting rock hard for some chocolate patisserie. And they just missed each other. Oh, it's like sliding doors.
Yeah.
He goes in and there they come around the corner. Gosh darn. But they also see one of Beth's posters. Again, have you seen this man? You could just say, have you seen a man? John, what's up? Thanks for joining. A little late, but better late than never, I guess. Beth 2 says, wow, she's really pretty, referring to Beth 1. And The Russian girl says, "Don't be hilarious, Elizabeth. She is a nice girl, but you are a beautiful woman. Your face has more characteristics." Natalia, that's her name. And then they kind of talk about, oh, Yorick better take care of this baby. Hero says, I'll teach him the meaning of deadbeat if he doesn't. Then Yorick and 355 break into these catacombs for some reason.
Just to hide him out.
Yeah, Yorick like grabs a skull just casually, and he's like, "Oh, how can you tell the difference if they're a man or a woman?" We get it.
Yeah, it's bones. It's real deep.
Alter kills this lady. Who cares? Sorry. Yorick is starting to write. He's like writing something. First of all, little. Got to show the gas mask. Got to remind you it's there, but put ampersand in the panel because, you know.
You're just chewing on it.
Because you can't have the gas mask coming back later, which clearly it's going to if they're showing it to you. But you can't just have it come back out of nowhere because you would have forgotten about it. There's this whole thing about peanut butter. I don't know. Whatever. 355 gives Yorick the scarf that she's been knitting this whole time.
Very sweet.
And they say goodbye. And then just as they say goodbye, look who shows up. Boy, another just very
Boom.
Convenient.
They have united once again.
And he says, no, this is another dream. She says, no, this isn't a dream. And then they start making out. And not only do they make out, oh, not yet. This cover is great, by the way.
Alec getting a little excited there, buddy.
Yeah, well, Yorick got a little excited. 355 is looking at this really sexy little French dress. We are reminded that her dad was a tailor. I don't know why it's important. And then she pulls out a gun, and the shop clerk's like, no, just take it. And she's like, no, I'm going to trade you. I bet you've been robbed a few times.
Yep.
And then the shopkeeper says, is it easy to use? And 355 says, oui, too easy. Here we go. Boom. That's not what we're going to do at all, because they're straight banging. That's not like he's
the entire room is destroyed.
Wrecking the room.
Yeah, the room is destroyed.
The lamp's broken on the floor.
They're not getting that deposit back.
And then she has the incredibly insulting line, "When did you get that good?" Not what you want to hear. I mean,
you should have said, "I had practice."
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I've been banging this whole trip.
Right.
The entire world.
Then they kind of talk for a while naked until Yorick has a really weird line, says the past matters. It matters a lot. And she's like, okay, then. Well,
yeah.
I was going to break up with you when you called the last time we talked.
I saw this coming, dude.
Yeah, of course.
I saw this shit coming.
And then Yorick gets really upset and storms out.
Yeah, but look at that cute little
ampersand chewing on the scarf.
Yeah. And she's like, no, things are different now. That's why I'm going to marry you. And he says, so you would have said no to the man, but yes to the last man?
Yeah,
and I hope a lesson is learned here, because we see Yorick foolishly, no, I'm going to save myself for this long, for this chick. And,
I'm glad he got Scarface, though.
He should have been doing his thing the whole time, because women are evil, brother. They're going to always...
I think that maybe oversimplification, but
preach that shit.
That's the moral, dude.
This is one of my favorite moments of maybe the entire series, partially because it took me the next page to realize what it was, where we get this page of Beth after Yorick storms out, and she's just kind of standing there. And then Hero comes in, and she says, Hero says, is my brother here? And Beth says, no, he left hours ago. I've been here waiting. So if you look subtly,
the daytime. Yeah.
If you look subtly, the light changes in every panel. So it shows that like she's just been standing there in total shock, and I don't know. but amazing.
Yeah, the reality probably hit her that she blew it. you know?
Yeah, dude.
So I loved that. Good job, Pia Guerra. And then, the meeting of the Beths and the Beths and the Beths.
Oh yeah, Beth 2 is way hotter.
Yeah, Beth 2 is a catch.
Beth
For
2.
sure. And
Beth
she's
2.
cool.
And
She's not only hotter, but she's cool.
And she's like, "This is Yorick's daughter." And then we get this like incredibly unnecessarily buxom cover of 355.
Yeah, well, she's never been like that ever before in the whole entire series.
She's very slim and sleek, and then all of a sudden it's like, I got these triple Ds.
I feel like, did this come out at the time the hip hop covers were coming out at Marvel?
You know what I noticed though?
She looks so hood in this. 355 doesn't ever look hood.
Yeah, tattoo and booby.
I picked up that like towards the last couple trades, definitely the last one, is they drew 355 like a lot prettier and more attractive than they did in the first trade.
Yeah, and Yorick actually says
He
that
does
too.
say that.
He's like, when we first met, you were like kind of scary and masculine, and now you're like feminine and hot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
guess to throw you off the scent or something. I don't know.
Because of where it needs to go. Like maybe Brian K. Vaughan didn't. It was either very intentional, or he realized what he wanted to do halfway through and was like, we need to draw our better looking.
I suspect that was what happened.
Yeah, most definitely.
I don't know. It was just something that
Yorick like somehow finds her.
I love that pose she's in with the sword.
It is a good one for sure.
He says, "You look like a little ballerina when you pirouette in that thing." And then we have the great line. We're back to the Beths, and Beth 2 says, "Well, this is awkward." Hero says, "I'm sorry, Beth, but Beth has the right to know about Beth." So many Beths. Alter busts in and
great ampersand panel though.
Yeah. He says, "I hear." I love how it's always kind of like a different little set of letters.
Oh yeah.
And they kind of kidnap everyone, and Alter goes to look for Yorick. Yorick and 355 profess their love for each other. Finally, we get it.
Yeah.
If anyone didn't see this coming, you
gorgeous panel of 355 whenever he's explaining how he feels about her.
Yeah, that's cool.
We find out that it was not Beth in the dream when he was being tortured by 7-Eleven. It was
hashtag safe word.
355. Hashtag safe word.
I like that. That was cool because what's interesting. This whole thing is like, I read the last. I forgot to. I didn't make it to pick up the last trade, so I read it digital. But like, I had up to this 9th trade. So I've all these years I've read up to this last one, but
and you never finished.
Wow, you never
finished. It was fun to like, go back and finally see how it ends. I couldn't believe I never did it.
That's awesome.
Take the Time Collectibles joined us, and so has Comic Spectre. If you did not see the AOK from Comic Spectre on my channel, holy smokes, A+ job.
I didn't.
Oh well, you'll be impressed.
Nice.
That's all I'll say. Yorick says, like, I want to bang you, but I want to like bang you in the right way. So I want to break up with Beth first. And she's like, well, that's very respectable. But you can see in her eyes, she's like, I want the D now.
Yeah.
Like, look, I bought this dress for a reason.
Yeah.
Right. I think throughout the whole series, 355 never really gets the D. I mean, right?
No, she gets the B.
She did get the V.
Yeah, she does get the B.
Yeah, right. She got the V.
Dang.
And everyone's tied up, blah, blah, blah. They're yelling at her, yada, yada, yada. Alter nonsense.
I was really hoping this wasn't going to happen, bro.
Yeah. Dude. So then we get the first of many heartbreaking moments of this trade. We get this super touching moment where 355 finally tells Yorick her real name, whispering it in his ear. So we
never find out.
Dude. Never find out. And he says, wow, that's a disappointment. And she says, like, any more ridiculous than your name? He says, "I'm jokey, dummy. Perfect. It's perfect, really." And then we hear a crack. He says, "What was that?"
She gone.
Pop.
Gone too soon. She got straight popped right in the head. And we got this really amazing 2-page spread with no words of her just falling down and Yorick falling with her.
And this awful ampersand, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah, and then
up.
That wasn't bad enough. We get this ampersand cover where he
tortured.
I just wanted to cry when I saw that thing, dude.
It's funny at this point.
If you still need to read this series, you're about to get quite spoiled by the ending. So
yeah.
Just heads up. If we didn't just spoil a big moment, just
right.
I'm glad Natalia does show her true colors and comes back and saves them. The Russian chick.
Yeah, right before 355 got taken out, I was trying to think, okay, well, how would I end this story? It's either going to be like a happy ending, or it's a really contemplative bad ending, which seems more like Brian K. Vaughan's like style. So I just started expecting the worst and just waiting for it to come. I started getting really anxious, and then once that like scope frame came in, I'm like, oh Lord, here it comes. Then like, I'm just waiting for the rest of the story to just get worse and worse for Yorick. But still end happy. It's got to end, on a pleasant level. But like, I just expected the worst, and it was everything I expected. And Why the Last Man? It's still very satisfactory.
There's some straight up tears coming.
Yeah,
that part, was upsetting, but anyway. This lady is going to steal Beth 3, and this Beth 2 says a line that I'm not comfortable repeating. If any of you gentlemen are, please be my guest.
What about how she's a dried up old something?
No, it's this one. I'll just show it to the camera if you can read it. Is it backwards?
I gotta go back.
You have to read it. We can't see it.
She says, "Get your C-wording hands off my kid."
Oh yeah.
C-wording, like a verb?
Yes. Very, very interesting use of that word. And just in time, once again, Natalia busts in with a rifle, saving Beth 3.
That broken English.
Yeah, that broken English. Great line about that coming up, by the way.
Yeah, totally. I really appreciated that too.
We get some more silent panels of Yorick mourning 355. Very sad. They say that, Alter's like, "Yep, I killed her. Just throw in the gas. Everyone else will be asleep, and I'll go in and clean it up." And so
he doesn't even care the gas is in there. He's like,
dude,
whatever.
The gas mask from the beginning comes full circle, bro.
So that's why they showed it earlier with Ampersand chewing on it, so you could be reminded that he has one.
With the think. Yep. Busting out her weapon. I love that page where I seen him pull out her weapon, dude. Like hell.
And he gets some shots in, man.
Like
and then just when you think Alter is about to best him, he's like, "Nah, screw you. I got a gun." And so he pulls a gun on her, and he's like, "All right, kill me." And he's like, "Oh, that's what you've been doing this whole time. Yeah. You've been wanting me to kill you."
And then that's why that panel at the beginning came into play. It made no sense to me earlier why she would be putting the gun to her head, but then now she's doing what he was doing.
She says straight up, "This isn't suicide, this is war. After everything I've been through, everything I've sacrificed, I have the right to die in battle and not the hands of some girl." So she wants a man to kill her because she thinks that's a better death.
Which makes 355's death even more frustrating, because it's like, this dumb broad killed 355 because she's got some stupid death wish. It's like, go play in traffic, bitch.
Right.
For real, dude.
Or just like deal with your problems.
Yeah, or that.
Create a healthy headspace for yourself.
Yes.
Yorick comes out with her as a hostage, and she's kind of like, "So what are you going to do now? Give him one of your lectures?" And he just kind of like hits her and says like, "This is enough," and he drops the gun. And for some reason, everyone just agrees.
Yeah.
And then Ampersand.
Man.
And by the way, at this point, I think at this point in the book, they've given all the explanation they're gonna give as to why the
current
gender side happened. Right?
Oh yeah. By the way,
for that.
Alter does give an alternate theory or explanation that Tel Aviv suggests that the culprits were the ones that they were looking for ways to deal with the emerging threat in China, and they released a chemical agent in Beijing that was supposed to prevent its women from conceiving male children, and it got out of hand, and that's what happened. So pick your poison. York also has a great line about how it was an unsatisfactory explanation, but which one would be? I forget who he's talking to when he says that. But he's like,
that was talking to Beth, I think.
He's like, I don't know, aliens or nanobots, maybe.
Yeah, there would be no good satisfactory answer.
Yeah, I guess that's it. Without reading all this time, like not reading the last book, the couple main things was how did it happen, right? What happens when he meets Beth? Those are like the two big questions. And I thought I liked the Beth answer. I like how that played out. But maybe there was no good answer. Maybe I guess the answer, it's not about why or how.
The journey. But, again, Brian K. Vaughan kind of like self-referencing the book itself, saying like, yeah, I know it's not that great, but like, what would you have been satisfied with? Get over it. It's
exactly
as good as it's going to get. And then we get to the best final issue of any series, in my opinion, number 60.
The real Clone Saga.
Where we start off with a young pup Yorick who is meeting this woman, and we find out
looks like a freckled female Yorick.
Yeah. He said, "What? You've never met a clone before?" And he's like, "Yorick the 17th." And she says, "Anyway, the president is waiting for you. Might as well get this over with." And we see this futuristic plane, and it says 60 years from now.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap.
I love a good flash forward story. #lost.
Yeah.
So we get this great splash page panel.
Yeah, that's an awesome one.
Of future France. Beth 3 is president of France. And this is where we start getting like the real good.
All the answers.
Vladimir, the baby, is president of Russia. Convenient.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the line about Natalia. Remember that old Russian woman I introduced you to at her funeral? She still had Vlad's ear. We'll send her communique through her. And her assistant says, Natalia, right? Her English was excellent.
Yeah.
Beth 3 kind of laughs, and she's like, yeah, it's a long story.
So good.
Yeah.
And then we get this great page of her with a portrait of her mom. And
this next full page is my favorite piece of art in probably all the books combined.
Oh, it's really good.
With that dark black background.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really funny that Yorick the 17th makes a comment about how he's not very funny. It's like, I don't have a great sense of humor, which, Yorick is kind of like the funny guy the whole time.
Yeah.
So Beth the third says, oh, by the way, your dad isn't dead like everyone thinks. He's here. We've got him in a straitjacket, surrounded by monkeys.
They said he tried to kill himself, right?
Right. They said he tried to kill himself, so they kind of like saved him.
Amazing page.
And his first line is, did you know Elvis had a twin brother? Which goes back to, and Yorick 17 says, who's Elvis? And you get one more R word just for good measure. And then he says, I didn't try to kill myself because I was 85, about to be 86, like the turn of phrase. And Yorick 17 just says, sounds hilarious. And then we get kind of this like flashback to Hero in the Serengeti fighting off poachers.
Plot twist here.
And Professor Xavier York.
Bald York, because, we talked about Rumham, GPAP says. He talks about how he's losing his hair, and he's like, I'll just shave my head. So he lives up to his word. And then Beth and Hero are a thing.
Beth and Hero.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Hey, man.
Knew it. Knew it was going to happen. I thought it would have happened sooner. Actually, but...
Really?
Yeah. I thought it was going to happen on the journey.
Wait, which Beth is that?
That's Beth 1.
Two. Well, yeah.
That's Beth 1. He marries, or I don't know if he marries, but they reference the fact that he is with Beth 2.
And he is
Australian Beth,
father.
right?
No, good Beth, Scarface.
Scarface Beth.
He married Scarface Beth?
Yes.
Basically is what they hint at, yeah.
And Australian Beth, the original Beth.
Went with his sister.
Who's not Australian. She's just visiting.
Right. But,
But, yeah.
She's the one that hooked up with Hero.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. See?
Too many Beths.
Too many Beths.
Dang.
So York 17th opens up the windows to get York the first some fresh air, and he refers to the fact they're engineering new strains, and York says new strains like a disease, about right. Then we get another heartbreaking scene where he goes to see Dr. Mann.
But she did.
But he arrived there too late, and to a very sad Rose. And this very funny scene of, as he refers to them, Dr. Men, all the clones. And they all like kind of are different iterations of Dr. Man. You got like Punk Dr. Man.
Punk one, yeah. Punk one is cool.
And he says they all talk with their hands just like she did. It's kind of beautiful.
She gave him the option to clone 355.
And he's like, no, she wouldn't have wanted that. And then we get double ampersand. Back to that.
Ampersand.
Those eyes.
Yeah. And then
the death of
York 17 says, whoa, all these little guys are so well behaved. And York says, tell me about it. 100 monkeys later, and they still haven't gotten him right. And York the 17th says, sorry. And York says, yeah, me too. And I don't know if I'm gonna get through this, guys. I'll be honest.
Yeah, dude.
So we get this scene in the snow where he's taking a very sick ampersand to see Bonnie, and he gives him this grape. And we get this like terrible little shot of him eating the grape. So sad.
But he's really going to 355's grave.
Yeah, and then he
cyanide though, right?
It's laced because he's sick.
It's like, how would you know that? Like, how would you not know that cyanide's not a poison? Like, not a. It's a hard way to go if you take cyanide. It's a painful way to go. Like, how would you not know that?
Yeah,
I don't know. I was really mad at that.
He says, "Oh fuck! Why the fuck did I do that? They said it wouldn't hurt, Amp. I didn't want you to hurt anymore. They promised me it would be quick." And then we get this little sad scene of him passing away, and he's like, "Yeah, I know."
Little monkey man.
Yeah, it's very sad.
That's really all that matters.
Yeah, and then it just topped it off with 355's grave.
Yeah. Very, very emotional scene.
I think he commits suicide, but he didn't.
Yeah, so he says, he asks York the 17th how old he is, and he says 22, and he laughs and he says, I turned your age a few weeks before the plague hit, back when my life was even more of a mess than it is now. I was jobless, behind on rent, my girl was gone. And then he says, York 17 says, are your monkeys okay? And my old man writes to me my birthday and says, a pair of deuces ain't much, but sometimes it can be a winning hand. And 17th says, are they supposed to be doing this? And they're just kind of like swarming all over him. And York stands up and says, you'll be fine, Rick. Just go out there and get your heart broken in. So it'll be ready when you really need it. And then he jumps out the window, seemingly. He's gone.
This part was just like blah.
We got this weird flashback scene of him at a plane. Yeah, I didn't really.
It's a little cutesy goodbye, you know, of what they had or like a moment that they shared together, you know. He ran through a field and there was, of course, metal and stuff, but he ran barefoot because he's an idiot. So Dr. Man's taking care of him. He just wanted a pack of peanuts, and Dr. Man brought him a pack of peanuts. And there's Chad.
355 brings him the peanuts.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Then we see him trying to explain what happened of him jumping. He jumped, and Bureau 17 says no, he escaped. And then just these absolutely lovely panels, just this quiet like scene of Paris, of all these places with like the wind blowing, and you know that he's been there. And then just
the children on the bus, which means that there are people repopulating.
Well, I mean, it looks like Beth, doesn't it? Like the females, like the blonde ones, looks like Beth. I feel like there's certain characters like, or you know, lookalikes throughout the Paris of the main characters in this story.
And then we get the straight jacket, and it just says "Alas" with
escape
with everyone's signature. I didn't actually get this book signed. That's printed on there.
We did it. We made it through Y.
Jesus.
That's how it ends.
Dang. I feel like that's a
well done.
This is a YouTube accomplishment right here. What other show has gone through an entire series like that?
Dude, good job, Alec, man. Like there's no way we could have any of us could have done that alone. Like you did it pretty much alone, bro.
Well,
like
same. What do you guys think of it after all?
I loved it, man. It was interesting the whole time. You wanted to get the next trade every time.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it was a much different experience for me because this is only the second time I've read it all the way through. First time I read it like as issues, and it read really well except for those weird random issues where it just went on a complete tangent. Which
like
I'm sure was
every series is going to have that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's hard to have a flawless run, especially with this many issues.
But the convenient part of having a trade instead of like getting the issue next month, being all excited, being like, oh, this is about the garbage girl. Who cares? Like we're getting towards the end. Now it's just like, okay, I kind of like breeze through this a little bit to get to where I want to be.
Yeah.
It's not a really sad ending, TJ. It's like there are sad parts, but it's happy. I think it's a happy ending because he like gets back out into the world and he's just like
exactly.
He's on his own exploring.
He's doing his thing. He's like adventuring again. After 60 years of I don't know. I think it's like very poetically appropriate.
Yeah, it's not the ideal happy ending.
Gonna link up with Old Man Logan.
Yeah. Old Man Quill.
It's not the ideal happy ending that like, you know, we all like wish, but it's like the one you get. You know what I mean? And he just kind of, you know, makes the best of it. I mean, this is kind of, I thought it was appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, York's kind of a fuck up, so he shouldn't get like this storybook ending.
Yeah, true. But I think it's like totally, like you said, it's appropriate for his character. Like it's kind of like what he would want. The monkey was my hero. Yeah, the monkey was all of our heroes. TJ,
best character.
I literally started crying, like tears, and I don't. The only thing I've ever cried at is Battlestar Galactica. True facts. So that's why.
Good job, bro.
Yeah,
good job, guys. Heck yeah.
Do you want to talk about the new format? Of the
so as much fun as this was, question mark, we're gonna try something new, and if it's terrible, we'll try something different or go back to this. But I'm going to be off next week because I'm going to be traveling back, well, not back to my new home. And so in 2 weeks, we're going to try to come back. We have not picked a book yet. So if anyone has any suggestions, hit us up.
We're going to go with shorter stories.
We're going to do, so this is the plan. And feel free to tell us this is terrible. And then we'll think of something new. What we're going to read a shorter story. We're going to sum it up very quickly. And then we're going to have a discussion about where we would want the story to go next and kind of like write our own story. And it's not necessarily going to be good or like real But we're just gonna have fun and goof off.
It's gonna be fun, exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool seeing what like the chat come up with too. You know.
Yeah, and we're gonna interact more with the chat, so we can say like, what do you guys think? If you have any ideas, we'll try to incorporate them. Maybe we'll come up with something really good. Maybe we'll come up with something stupid and idiotic with a lot of dick jokes. Probably more
That'll
likely
your job.
My job.
Yeah, you're gonna be the dick joke guy.
Yeah, I am already. So
exactly.
Comic Man Andy says die. I mean, that did kind of stop at a point. We could read the first trade and then, but I think that's like so good. It's gonna be hard for us.
Yeah, it's super good.
I mean, not that we can't pick good books, but like, man. And issue 6
also has like a lot of characters too to talk about as well.
Issue 6 is about to come out.
Caleb, you're reading Kill or Be Killed, right? I mean, that has like mainly one handful of characters. You know, I mean, that would be a cool one to do. But I mean,
now.
Yeah, it's also.
Yeah, that would be a really
I'm up for whatever, but I'm up for whatever.
It's a longer thing.
Seems like that would be. Yeah,
Dude,
I mean, yeah, it has 4 volumes out.
The idea of that story is freaking cool as crap, man.
Take the time, collect full set. 3000. I don't want to. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, totally want to see more suggestions from the chat in here while we can.
I think well-known characters would be good, like that. You know, a lot of.
Ledger says Shazam.
Obscure picks, but you know.
Magic Order was only 6 issues or something last year.
Yeah,
God
Magic
Country
Order was cool. Good call. You're right, because Magic Order ended in 6 issues.
Yeah.
But it would also be fun to do like maybe even like a first volume of something, and then just pretend like volumes 2, 3, or whatever don't exist, and just make up our own. You know, so we could do whatever.
It would definitely have to be something none of us have read though, because we can't. I don't want to be influenced by like what actually happened.
Yeah, that too.
Or if you like, because I don't even remember like the middle parts of Kill or Be Killed, so like it wouldn't matter to me. But yeah, I agree though for the most part is we'll find something.
Yeah. We got X-Men, God Loves, Man Kills, Marvels, J. Michael Straczynski, Rising Stars, Blackest Night. Yeah, a lot of good suggestions. So we'll have to kind of.
John's been talking about that book. TJ mentioned God Loves, Man Kills.
Yeah.
John mentioned that not too long ago on one of his shows.
I don't watch John shows. But yeah,
you should watch it because he gave me a shout out in his newest video.
No, I do watch John's videos, of course.
Comic Man Andy says Farmhand.
Yeah, I think like
an indie, the first issue.
An indie book would be good. I think.
I love indie titles.
Yeah, me too, man.
It would Killing Joke. But like certain things like Killing Joke, like we kind of know. I mean, we can make up our own thing, but like we know what's gone on since then. So I don't want to be like too influenced by. I don't want to like be like, oh, they should have done this instead. I want it to be more like
just a fun fan fiction thing at the end.
Yeah, this is where I think you could go with it. I don't know. It might be a sticky wicket. We'll come up with something good. Any of you guys have anything going on your channels this week that you want to plug?
I am gonna do my Bear Island Royal Guard tomorrow. It will be. I'm gonna record it tonight, but it'll be uploaded tomorrow.
Mine's invincible. I'm unbeatable.
It's not about beating. It's about who's got the best.
I got Mr. Miyagi, son.
Yeah, but I've got Hiro Nakamura, dude.
Yeah, he's kind of a square.
Exactly. He's just so happy and cool, man. He's just a good dude.
Kenny, what's up?
I'm going to continue going through my collection.
That's awesome, man.
Good night, Sammy.
You know, because I haven't. I'm pretty much not doing any comic calls until it's all building up to your boy. Really going to be doing my first like Comic-Con hunting experience because I haven't gone to like a big boy Comic-Con since I started collecting again. So Comic-Con Boston, brother, August 17th. So I'm just going to be kind of falling back until then. So in the meantime,
you mean Fan Expo Boston?
Actually, I got it here because I'm going to film it soon.
Damn.
The L through R box, brother.
Oh yeah, I caught the video today. The I through G or whatever it was.
Yeah, G through J was the last.
G through J. That's
a lot of good Green Lantern in there, and etc. Hulk is in there. And there's some fun stuff in the L through R. So yeah, stay tuned as I continue to go through the Comic Head collection.
Very cool.
My CGCs are supposed to be here tomorrow. I forgot about that.
I got my first signed CGC today. It's double sig, actually. Double
Dude,
sig.
that thing is gorgeous too,
Oh
bro.
my god, I love it.
Yeah. Super cheap too. I think it's like $40 on eBay.
Dang.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
That's the best, man. That's the best.
Oh my god.
I was lined up 2 others that I missed out on at the last second, so I was kind of bummed about that. But I might continue my Grim Knight gun collection. For me, Story Comic Core on Wednesdays. This previous
Unlimited?
Comic Core Unlimited on Wednesdays. This past Sunday, I was a guest on S&B Network, and it was their 150th episode, and they had a full panel of kind of regulars and stuff. It was fun, but they recruited me to be a full-time member, so I'm going to be there on Sundays now.
Oh, very nice.
So Sundays at 2:00, I believe. We're just talking about comics. Another comic show. SNB Network, like ampersand, S&B Network.
SNB Network. All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like they actually have a monkey in their name.
I wish.
Yeah. Chris Barrett says you mean the B team. I've got book club on Wednesday. We're doing Sea of Stars. Is that what it's called? Image book.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do Lois Lane. I got outvoted.
Carmen Sandiego, #1.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
That
Greg
freaking
Rucka.
Jenny Frizz and Lois Lane cover,
Telling you.
bro.
Sleeper hit, hot take. Pick up that book. It's going to be really good. But we're doing another book, which it's got a Mike Mignola cover as a variant. So
that's Jason Aaron, though, right?
Yes. It's some big wig guy. Forget.
Mignola's going to be at that Boston Comic Con.
I know, dude.
What do I do about that? I don't know.
Send you my run.
I haven't signed something. I don't even know.
Dude, I want to send you my run to Rocket Raccoons to get signed.
I need con advice. I'll worry about that later. But I don't know.
Or a remark at least. You got to get at least a remark and a signature and a sketchbook from him.
Can you roll up to a con with blank cover sketches and be like, "Hey, Mignola, do a custom sketch on this comic cover"?
Depends on how many people have already commissioned him for that show.
Yeah, I was going to say I had to. I contacted Jay Lee ahead of time to get my sketch. So if you want something quick, maybe, but the lines are out of control, so they're probably just be we can do a,
especially for somebody like Mignola, dude.
A 2-second head sketch. But if you want a legit thing, I would definitely reach out.
That's what
Take Time Flexible says, FYI, if you guys want to enjoy the story, avoid the internet as much as possible. Next 2 days, pick up a copy of Walking Dead 193 ASAP on Wednesday before someone ruins it for you.
That's right.
TJ says, might be the B team, but A team in my heart. So shout out to Comic Core Unlimited. I got book club, and then after that, I'm probably going to be going dark until I get settled in my new place.
Dark in Florida.
Cool.
All right. I hope you guys enjoyed Why the Last Man as much as us, and I hope you join us for our new experiment in a couple weeks.
Yeah. But we're still going to come on Monday. I am, at least.
I'll be on.
Do some sort of show. Heck
All
yeah,
right,
man.
Fine.
We'll chop it up.
Do it
Chop it up live.
Freestyle Monday. Better buckle up, brother.
That's right, brother. And chop it up.
All right.
Bye.
Have a great night, everyone.
See you, homies.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.